Hey, Together Church, welcome to our first conversation on the couch.
Good morning. It's so good to have you here in our lounge room with us. We're glad that you can't see the other side of this camera
Yeah, all
because
the washing.
we may have a laundry in this room.
But you don't worry about that. Just focus on this. But today is Rest Sunday, so you might be watching this at home on Sunday or another time during the week. There's no expectation of winter washes, but we thought it'd be fun to, join you on your Rest Sundays and have a conversation. Why not? Why not? I'm excited.
We won't be here long. We're not going to keep you for like an hour. Martin's not going to preach a sermon, guys. So
I'm not allowed to.
We're going to keep this short and sweet. Grab a coffee, grab a cup of tea, find a spot on the couch and come and join us. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be good. So today, we thought, because it's our first ever conversation on the couch, and it's Rest Sunday, we thought we'd have a conversation around rest. Why not? I think, we have once a month, we have a Sunday where we don't have services, and we call it Rest Sunday. And I think we should talk about the importance of rest, why we choose to not have services one Sunday a month, and why we need to rest. Because I think it's something that we overlook a lot in life.
Yeah, I think we'll focus a bit on that rhythm of rest and what does that look like, and why is it important? Why does God tell us to rest? And
yeah. So let's look at the Bible, because I think that's a pretty good place to start. In Matthew, and this is kind of one of the key scriptures that we use when we're thinking of rest as a church and why we rest. And my wife is going to read it because she has a beautiful reading voice.
So guys, from Matthew chapter 11 verses 28 to 30, it reads, "Then Jesus said, 'Come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke fits perfectly, and the burden I give you is light.'"
Yeah, I love that so much. There's a few things I really like in that, but the first thing is that rest is us yoking with Jesus. He says, take upon my yoke, and I will give you rest. I think sometimes we, like a lot of things, we take rest upon our own shoulders, and we're like, rest is my own responsibility, which it is. We have to make time to rest, but there's also a responsibility of that we align ourselves and take upon the yoke of Jesus, and that's where we get our rest from. That's like the ultimate rest, And that he carries us, and he leads us, and he guides us. And if do you know what a yoke is?
I mean,
it's not an egg
I'm picturing farm agriculture.
Yeah. It's not like you crack an egg, and it's not that kind of yoke. I think that's what I always thought when I was a kid. But it's like a yoke where they used to yoke two kind of like cows together, bulls together, oxen, or whatever the animal they used to plow their field. And they would pair up like a strong ox with a weak younger ox, and then the stronger one would kind of pull and lead and guide the younger one. And as they did that, the younger one would get stronger. Or they would pair a older one that needed rest with a younger, stronger one, and they would do it that way, and then the older one could have rest while the stronger one pulled and led. And that's what Jesus is talking about, because he's talking to people that understand this idea of yoke and farming. And he's saying, yoke with me. And Jesus is our stronger ox. He is the stronger one that pulls us.
Thank goodness for that, right?
Yeah, and we find rest in those moments when he's leading us, when he's guiding us. So when we talk about wanting rest and finding rest, we find it in the person of Jesus.
Yeah. I just thought I'd read out, we have some values as a church, and if you haven't heard our values before, you can actually find them on our website. We've got them all listed out there for you, but rest is one of the key values that we have as a church, and what we say is rest is our posture. And I love kind of what Martin was sharing from Matthew, because it talks about the posture of the ox, and it talks about leaning into the stronger, us as the weaker ox, leaning into the strength of the stronger ox, which is Jesus. And our value, it reads, "We acknowledge that it's from a place of rest that we work. We find joy in allowing the Holy Spirit to do his work in and through us."
Yeah.
And so I think it's important to acknowledge from the beginning that rest doesn't mean that we don't work. We're not that community that's just rest your whole life, don't do anything, just sit on the couch and drink coffee and don't do any work, because guess what? We wouldn't have a very fruitful life if we did that. But I think the premise is that rest is our posture, and it's that we start from that place and then we let the rest of our life flow out of that.
Yeah.
So it's like resting and surrendering our lives to Jesus first and foremost, and letting him pull the weight, and then kind of following the rhythm after that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think work is important. We need to work. Like it even says in Genesis, it says work is important for us. Like he puts us to work, and it gives us something to do. It gives us like a purpose and a passion. So when we're saying to rest, we're not saying, yeah, don't go work.
Yeah,
Still
I'm
work.
reading lots in Proverbs at the moment, and it actually says a lot about work in Proverbs.
Yeah.
A lot about not being lazy, and
Yeah.
you know what we do with our time and investment and sowing so that we can reap a harvest. And so we do
Yeah.
need to work. It's a thing that God's created us to do.
Yeah.
But we don't have to strive. And I think
right.
you'll probably hear Martin and I talking a lot about not striving and working from a place of rest. And yeah, I think it's an important concept, eh?
It is, and I think we can get caught up in the whole world of striving and the idea of striving, because we live in a world, let's face it, where busyness is like a pride badge that you wear. You know, people ask you, oh, how are you doing? And you're like, oh, I'm just so busy. And all of a sudden, like, your busyness is something that you're proud of, which is so backwards. Like, since when was the appropriate response to how are you is I'm busy? It's like, no, how are you? No, I'm doing good. I'm well, thank you. But no, it's busy. It's like this pride thing we wear. And I think that's why so many people are just crashing and burning, because they're like striving to this busy life, because that's what they're finding their purpose in, is busyness and work and striving. Whereas Jesus wants us to find his purpose in him and his rest. That's where we find our purpose. He's not saying don't work. He's saying, no, find your purpose in me. And then from that, that's where we then propel ourselves forward into the rest of our lives, from a position of rest, in a position that's facing Jesus.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think rest isn't just a struggle for us in the church community, it's a struggle for people and humans in general. And I was just reading this article this morning, actually, they were referencing a fatigue specialist, and it was in a New Zealand article, and he says, rest is hard work for a lot of us. We don't really know how to rest and recover. It's not something that we're taught or something that we value.
Yeah.
So I guess as a community, what we're trying to say is that we want to make it a value of ours that rest is important. And that's physical rest, but it's also spiritual rest, right? Us first finding that space in Christ, and everything that we are, and everything flows out of who we are in Christ, and having that confidence and security in him first that propels us forward. Yeah,
that's good. So why do we not have services on one Sunday a month? Like, why do we choose to rest on one Sunday? Because, you know, we could also find rest and still have services every Sunday.
Yeah, you might wonder, where did this idea come from? Actually, when we were over in Seattle, good friends of ours pioneered a church plant, and one of the things that they put in place right from the outset was this idea of one Sunday off each month. And it wasn't out of just like, hey, we just need to not have church on a Sunday for no reason, but there was purpose in it, and the purpose really comes out of a place of needing to rest, needing to encourage people to create healthy rhythms, and that.
And it's like breaking down the whole idea that the church is four walls. You know, like, just because you come to church on a Sunday and we call it church, that's not just the church. Like, we are the church.
Yeah.
I think if everything that we're doing, especially as pastors, is like geared up to like the Sunday service, which is nothing wrong with the Sunday service. There's power in the Sunday service.
We love gathering on Sundays. It's some of the best moments.
There's life change on a Sunday service, but if everything is always focusing on that and pushing towards that and geared up towards gathering, then I feel like we start missing Jesus in the picture of it. We start missing like what the church was really built for, and then all of our effort, all of a sudden, all of our energy is for Sunday, and then we miss the people sometimes during the week that need us. Like, because the church is Monday through Sunday. Like, we are the church. We are the people of the church. And by not having services on a Sunday, we're kind of saying to the community, go be the church outside of these four walls.
Yeah.
You know, go do that. Go be the church. Like, this isn't the be all and end all. And we've all seen people that have like put their faith in the church, you know, like put their faith in their pastor and in people and in the building of the church. Mm-hmm. And then when the church fails and crumbles, because it's kind of constructed by humans, like the church building falls down, or a pastor stumbles and falls, or a pastor says something to hurt someone's feelings, then their faith is so much in this construct of the building and people that they lose their faith with Jesus, because they're never really focused on him. They're focused on this building structure, which we don't want that to happen for Together Church, because we're people, we're human. Just so you know, We're probably going to fail
We're
you
going
at
to
some
fail.
point.
Definitely
We're going to
make
make
mistakes. Hopefully not major ones.
No,
But
yeah, but your faith isn't rested on us. Yeah, we're here to shepherd you and guide you, and we love you. But ultimately, we put that in Jesus.
yeah, and Martin and I will always push you guys as our community back to Jesus. Like, we are not the spokesperson that like you have to just come and sit and listen to, and obviously we want to bring what we can, and God's put us in this position to, like, Martin's got such a gift of communication, and I love that about you, babe. But we are not the be all and end all. You guys have your own direct line to Jesus. What an amazing thing that is, that each one of us has a direct line to the creator of heaven and earth. And so we want to push you guys back into that and remind you that your walk with Jesus is between you and him. And as a community, yes, we need to gather because there's importance in gathering and doing life together, and sharing time together and worshipping together. All of that is so key, but we also want to remind you that church goes beyond the four walls of a Sunday in the building in Shelley Park. Like, that's not what the church is.
That's right. So what do you do on your rest Sundays? Like, so we have these rest Sundays off, and so I mean, like, what do you do? I mean, the statistics are really that only, is it like 50%, 30% of the church come like once a month to church. There's a very small percentage that come every Sunday. But those are the people we love, No, we love you all. We love you all. There's only
We just want to apologise here and now for those that like get all your kids in the car on a Sunday morning and drive to church and then realise it's rest Sunday.
Sorry, guys.
We're really sorry. We try to do as best we can to communicate that. But...
We're sorry, but we're not sorry. And then on those Sundays, just go get coffee with the family. It's a great excuse to just go out and do something because you're already out of the house. But on a rest Sunday, we choose to spend it with family, with friends. Sometimes we sleep in, sometimes we go places. But we choose to invest it into people and into ourselves, really, and into our family.
Sometimes it's good not to have a plan. Sometimes it's good just to have
do
space. Space is like something that we don't have a lot these days in our calendars and our diaries. Like, we need to create intentional space for rest.
Yeah, and if you want to go visit other churches, feel free. Go visit other churches. I've had some pastors in the area come up to me and be like, we've had people come visit us on the rest day, and I'm like, that's awesome. I'm super glad that you guys are doing that. And also there's this now, every rest Sunday there'll be this available for you guys to watch, 10 a.m. If you want to, but no big deal. But it's just time for you guys just to just focus on God, focus on your family, and just find some rest, find some moments to rest.
We're such a big family church too, that we're built on a lot of young families, and we know that this season of life is really full. It really is. Like, we're kind of out of the little baby stage now, but we thought it was busy back then, but like life is full even now, like with all of our kids and their sporting and all the things that they're doing, work across more than one job at the moment. There's lots of things going on, but like we really appreciate those days too, where we can just slow down a little bit, be really intentional with our kids. Like, man, that time is so precious, and I want to encourage you guys as parents out there to take the moments to invest in your kids before it's gone, because it's rapidly moving on. Like, Levi's going to be 16, and we're like, how did we get to this point already? But value the moments that you get, and invest in your families.
There's a great book that if you're a reader, or if you want to get on Audible and listen to it, on rest, The Ruthless Elimination of Hurry
by John Mark
Comer. Yeah, so if you're a reader, get that book and read it, and it talks a lot about finding rest and finding moments of just to stop and pause, and I think it's really important in this life. So if you're a reader, go check that out, or we're happy to talk to you more about rest. My wife will talk to you about rest as well a lot if you want.
Hey, I'm still on the learning journey, man, because my natural bent is to keep going 100 miles an hour and like do all the things and be all the places, but
my natural bent is just to stop and slow down, so we kind of are a good combination. But
Thanks for joining us this morning, guys. We hope you have an amazing Sunday morning. Say hi if you're on the chat. We'd love to know that you're here and that you've seen this, and have an amazing day with your families and friends.
We'll see you next Sunday on the 18th. All right, guys.
Look forward to it. See you then.
See ya. Bye.